What if I told you that worry is an illusion, a lie your mind tells you on repeat? The mind is everything. What you think, you become, said the Buddha. But what if your thoughts are quietly destroying your peace, stealing your sleep, and hijacking your joy? If you have ever found yourself lying awake, replaying conversations, or fearing things that have not even happened, you are not alone. Here is the truth. Most of us live in fear of a future that does not even exist. So let me ask you what you could break free from that cycle, starting right now. In this video, we're going to unpack a life-changing Buddhist truth that has been hiding in plain sight. And this is not just philosophy, it is a practice you can start today. One that can shift everything. You are about to discover the real root of worry and, more importantly, how to let it go. If there is one thing you take away from this video, just one, make it this. That is all you need to know in life. And stick around till the end, there is a powerful bonus lesson that brings it all together. 1. Be happy now. What does Buddhism really say about worry? There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. It sounds simple, but for most of us, it feels like a riddle. We have been taught to chase happiness through success, relationships, or some future goal. So we keep pushing. Once I get there, we think, then I will be happy. But that day rarely comes. Imagine your life is a room full of sunlight, but the curtains are closed. Worry is the curtain. And every time you say, I will feel better, when you are pulling those curtains tighter. Buddhism does not say do not care, it says, be awake. Awake to the illusion that joy is a reward. It is not. It is already here if you stop postponing it. Ask yourself, what are you waiting for to feel joy? More money, a better title, a cleaner house. What if this imperfect moment is already enough? Buddhist wisdom says, attachment is the root of suffering, especially the attachment to how life should be. Peace does not come when everything is perfect. It comes when you stop resisting what is. So take one breath, just one. No fixing, no striving, just presence. That is where happiness lies. A monk once said, when walking, just walk. When eating, just eat. Children know this, they do not wait to be happy. They just are. So ask yourself, if nothing changes, can you still choose joy? Because happiness is not buried in the future. It is here, now, waiting beneath your resistance. At the end of the day, you have two choices. Wait for a perfect moment, or make this one enough. Be happy now. That is not denial. That is wisdom. 2. What is worry according to Buddhism? Buddhism teaches that worry is a mental illusion, a story the mind tells about a future that does not exist. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. Worry is not reality, it is a shadow puppet on the wall of your mind. It feels urgent and real, but it is just a shape created by thought. If your thoughts are not facts, why treat them like rules? We imagine worst-case scenarios, predict failures, and plan conversations that may never happen. But worry, in Buddhist wisdom, is just attachment to an imagined future, and it steals joy from the present. Chasing certainty builds walls around peace. You think control brings safety, while your mind quietly manufactures more fear. Monks are trained to watch thoughts like clouds passing in the sky, no chasing, no fixing, just observing. What if you treated worry the same way? Instead of obeying it, you notice it. There is the money worry. There is the health worry. Then say, this is just a thought, and let it go. Modern life fuels worry through constant alerts, comparisons, and pressure to plan every moment. But Buddhism reminds us, attachment to prediction is attachment to suffering. Start small. Pause 3 times today. Take one deep breath. Notice the worry. Name it. Release it. Every time you do, the grip loosens. Real power is not in controlling everything. It is in choosing your response. Worry is not a compass. It is an echo of fear. Let it drift by like a cloud, and in the stillness it leaves behind. You may find peace was there all along. 3. The mind's trap. How we create suffering with thoughts. The root of suffering is attachment. These are not just poetic words, they are a clear reflection of how we trap ourselves in our own minds. Not with chains, but with thoughts like, "This should not be happening. I am not where I should be. I cannot be happy until this is fixed." Your mind becomes a cage built from assumptions, expectations, and stories. You face something neutral, a delay, a breakup, a mischance, and your mind instantly labels it bad. The suffering does not come from the event itself, but from that label. You do not suffer because your plans changed. You suffer because you expected them not to. Buddhism teaches that the mind is a storyteller, and its stories only hurt you if you believe them. Suffering begins when we stop observing thoughts and start becoming them. But you are not your anger, regret, or worry. You are the space they pass through. Ask yourself, what are you fighting in your mind right now? Then ask, is this thought absolutely true, or just a belief I have repeated? A woman once told the Buddha, "My life is full of suffering." He asked, "What are you clinging to?" She realized it was not life, but her grip on how life should be. Healing begins not from fixing the outside, but from releasing inner resistance. Each time you pause and observe without judgment, you loosen the grip. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. Here is a simple practice. When something upsets you, pause. Notice how your mind labeled it. Then ask, what if I did not believe that label? What if this moment is just a moment? Suffering ends when you stop clinging and meet life as it is. From that space, clarity and peace return. Your mind can be a trap or a tool, and you hold the key, not through force, but by letting go. Let go of the thought, let go of the story, and be free. 4. Living in the present. The real antidote to anxiety. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. This teaching cuts through anxiety like a blade through fog. Worry cannot survive in the now. It only exists in a future that has not happened or a past that cannot be changed. Peace lives in presence, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Imagine your mind as a still lake, calm, reflective, and clear. Thoughts about the past or future stir the water and cloud the reflection. The calm never truly disappears. It is only disturbed. Can you stop stirring the water? You may feel overwhelmed by work, relationships, or expectations. Your mind says, what if I fail? Or what if I am not enough? But those fears only live in the movie your mind projects. Buddhism does not ask you to deny your fears, but to wake up from them. To return to the one place where fear loses its power. The present moment. Right now. Notice your breath, not the idea of it, but the feeling of the inhale and exhale. This is your anchor. When your mind drifts, come back to your senses, feel your feet on the ground. Hear the sounds around you. Notice the texture of your clothing. These are your tools to return. You are not broken for worrying. You are just lost in a place that does not exist. Ask yourself, are you really here right now? Or are you stuck in a conversation or failure that has not happened? Every time you return to now, you reclaim your power. You stop reacting to a fantasy and start responding to what is real. There is a story of a Zen master asked how he stays calm in chaos. He said, when I am eating, I eat. When I am walking, I walk. The student asked, but do not we all do that? The master replied, no. When you eat, your mind is often elsewhere. That is the difference. The present moment is not just a pause between tasks, it is where life happens, where peace is found, and where decisions are made. So stop running to the future or dragging the past. Just be here, this breath, this step, this pause. You do not need more time. You need more presence. Presence is not something you find. It is something you practice. So next time worry grips you, Do not try to fix the future. Ask yourself, am I here or lost in a place that does not exist? Peace begins the moment you arrive. 5. Trusting life, the art of letting go. Let go or be dragged. These words resonate deeply. Letting go is not about surrendering. It is about releasing the illusion of control. Buddhism teaches that attachment is the root of suffering. The Buddhist teachings emphasize that attachment leads to suffering, and letting go is the path to freedom. Trying to control life is like grasping at water. The tighter you hold, the faster it slips away. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It is about embracing life's flow without resistance. The Buddhist teachings emphasize that attachment leads to suffering, and letting go is the path to freedom. There is a story of a man hanging from a cliff, gripping a branch. A voice tells him to let go. Terrified, he hesitates, but eventually, he slips and lands on a ledge just a few feet below. Sometimes, the ground we fear does not exist. It is our clinging that creates the illusion. Ask yourself, what are you gripping so tightly? A plan that is not working. A person who has already left. A version of yourself you have outgrown. What if you loosened your grip just a little? Letting go begins with one breath. One moment of softening the tension in your jaw, the worry in your chest, the urge to control the uncontrollable. You will notice something strange. As soon as you stop clinging, space opens up. Space for clarity, for new possibilities, for the present moment to breathe again. Letting go is not the end of control. It is the beginning of trust. And when you trust life, you realize you were never meant to carry it all. 6. Accept what is. Resistance is the real enemy. Peace comes from within. Do not look for it out there. That is easy to say until life falls apart. When plans crumble. When someone betrays your trust. When things do not go how you hoped, peace feels impossible. Your mind resists. It argues. This should not be happening. But here is the deeper truth. Resistance is the true enemy, not the moment itself. Imagine rowing upstream with a broken paddle. You are exhausted, going nowhere. That is what resisting reality feels like. When you fight what is your job situation, your heartbreak, your uncertainty, you waste your energy wishing life was different. But life flows how it flows. Acceptance does not mean approval. It does not mean you like what happened. It means you stop pretending it did not. You face the truth without turning it into your enemy. Because suffering does not come from the event, it comes from the story we tell about it. This ruins everything. I cannot handle this. That story multiplies the pain. There is a story of a monk who was attacked during a robbery. When asked if he was angry, he said, "There is pain. Why add hatred to it?" That is the power of acceptance. This hurts, but I would not make it worse by fighting it. So ask yourself, what are you wishing was different? Your pace in life, a relationship, a decision. What would shift if you stopped resisting? Not giving up, but letting go of the fight. In that surrender, something opens up. You gain clarity. You start responding not from fear, but from presence. Because it is not reality that drains you, it is the fight against it. When you stop rowing against the current, you discover peace was never lost. It was just buried under resistance. You do not have to like what happened, but you can stop pretending life should always go your way. That is not weakness. That is freedom. It begins the moment you say, "This is what is and I will meet it fully." Bonus lesson. Choose what matters, not what feels comfortable. Imagine walking through a thick fog, the path unclear, the ground uncertain. In that haze, your values become your compass, steady and true even when you cannot see the way. Buddhism teaches, choose what matters, not just what feels easy. In a world full of distractions and pressure, it is tempting to reach for quick relief or comfort, but lasting peace comes from living in alignment with your deeper purpose, not from avoiding discomfort. Often, we chase ease to silence the noise inside. But what if that very chase is what feeds our anxiety? Choosing safety over growth may bring temporary relief, but it also brings quiet restlessness, the sense that something is missing. True happiness comes when discipline meets purpose. Discipline is not punishment. It is choosing to live by your values, even when it is uncomfortable. Think of the jobs, relationships, or habits you stayed in because they felt familiar even though they held you back. Comfort came at the cost of peace. But what if you shifted your focus from feeling good now to moving toward what is meaningful? Yes, meaning often brings discomfort, but it rarely brings regret. The real regret comes from betraying your values, letting fear or worry steer your choices. So this is your invitation. Do not live by convenience. Live by conviction. Ask yourself, what truly matters beneath all my fears and distractions? Let your values, not your emotions, guide your direction. Even if the path is not clear, each step guided by purpose brings you closer to peace. You may still feel fear or doubt, but you do not have to let them lead. Acting with intention, even in discomfort, transforms worry into clarity. So ask yourself, are your daily choices reflecting what matters most, or just what feels safe? The fog may remain for a while, but with your inner compass, every step is progress. Your values are ready to guide you. Will you trust them? Quick summary of the principles. Be happy now. Happiness is not something you find, it is something you choose. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Joy can coexist with chaos if your mind allows it. The path to peace is not outside, it is within. Live as if happiness is already here. What is worry? According to Buddhism, worry is the mind's trick imagining futures that do not exist. It thrives on the illusion of control and fear of the unknown. But when you see it clearly, it loses its power. Awareness breaks the loop. You are not your anxious mind. Suffering begins when we attach to thoughts and resist what is. It is not events, but beliefs that shape pain. Free yourself by dropping the labels good or bad that your mind assigns to everything. Peace begins when you stop fighting your thoughts. Living in the present. The present moment is the only place peace exists. Worry fades when you return to now. Use your breath and awareness to come back home, because most problems do not live here. Trusting life. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. Trying to control everything creates more stress. Flow with life. Trust the process. And let the journey guide you. Acceptance. Acceptance is not defeat, it is peace. You do not need to like everything to stop resisting it. Fighting reality fuels suffering. When you say yes to what is, your energy softens. True strength is in embracing life as it unfolds. Choose what matters. Comfort is tempting, but meaning lasts. Let values, not fear, lead. Choose what feeds your soul, not just your mood. Discomfort is part of growth. You are already free, you have just forgotten. You do not need more stuff, more certainty, or more status to live fully. You need to return to yourself. Now, in this moment, the real secret, the key is not in changing your life, it is in changing how you relate to it. Worry is a habit passed down by fear. But your true nature is calm, grounded, and wise. Buddhism teaches, suffering begins in the mind, but so does liberation. The key is within you. It always has been. When you stop believing every thought, when you accept what is, and when you act with intention over fear, life transforms. The chaos may remain, but your relationship to it softens. Let go. Breathe. Focus on what truly matters. This is not passive surrender, it is powerful clarity. You are not behind. You are not broken. With presence, compassion, and trust, you can release the weight of overthinking and discover a freedom that no external success can offer. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to be here. Zen proverb said, when you realize nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you. If this awakens something in you, do not keep it to yourself. Share it. Reflect. Live it. And Subscribe and awaken your mind with Wisdom Kingdom.